right, this is part 2 to the example B video. If you haven't watched part 1 yet and you're trying to just jump in, you might not know where we are. What we were doing is we're trying to figure out the roots of this polynomial. And what I want everybody to do right now, if you still have space, you may need some more space for this. You may need additional paper. I want you to write here the original polynomial that we had. Did we capture in the previous video one of the guilty suspects? Who was it? Here it is, negative 5/3. I want you to take that little negative 5/3 and put it in a little jail cell. After all, he was guilty, right? So negative 5/3 is right now guilty and in interrogation. We have him under that light with the good cop, bad cop, right? He's guilty. He's been tried in a court of Texas Instruments, all right? We saw on the screen that negative 5/3 did indeed produce 0. Okay. So now that negative 5/3 is the suspect and we have him in custody, we're going to question him to find the other ones that were with him that day when he committed the crime. And what was the crime? Creating 0. All right. Creating 0 is a crime. He will cooperate. He has to. He will cooperate. We will know if he cooperates if this makes no sense in this analogy, if his remainder is 0. Okay? We will know he cooperates if his remainder is 0. So here's what you do. You look at the numbers that are involved in the polynomial, and you write down the coefficients from left to right. If any are missing, make sure you hold its place with a 0. What I mean by that is, let's say that 5x squared wasn't in this equation. I would write a 3, then a 0, then a negative 15, then a negative 25. You would need a 0 there if the x squared part was missing. Do you get that? It's not a problem here, but it could be in a future problem. So let's take the 3 and write it there, the 5, the negative 15, and the negative 25. This is the process known as synthetic division. It's a way of questioning one of the suspects, one of the x-intercepts, to find the others. All right? Here's how the process works. And it's going to be the first time you see this, unless you're watching the video again, and it might be the second time or third, never mind, that you're seeing this. But there's no guessing involved like there is with long division. All you have to do, anyway, it's the first time you've seen this, so it's going to be confusing the first time. We put a line down here and leave a gap there. Leave a gap because some numbers need to go there. Here's how synthetic division works. I'm going to run through it at normal speed, and then I'll slow it down for you. Ready? Here's how the process works. You begin with this 3 and just bring it down because there's nothing to add it to. So just bring that 3 down and make a 3. The process of long division involves, like yesterday, multiplying, subtracting, carrying, and bringing things down, right? So does synthetic division. So I brought the 3 down, and what I do next is I multiply these guys. What's negative 5/3 times 3? It is negative 5. You put that answer up and to the right. Then you add straight down again. 5 plus negative 5 is 0. Then repeat the multiplying process. What's negative 5/3 times 0? 0. That answer goes up and to the right. Repeat. Add. Negative 15 plus nothing. Negative 15. Repeat. Multiply. Negative 5 times negative 15 is positive 75 thirds. Positive 25. That answer goes here. Add. If your remainder here is 0, he's happy. He's free to go. All right? 0 is not one of the suspects. 0, if you get a remainder of 0, that means this was factorable. Now that we have this result, 3, 0, and negative 15, you're probably wondering, well, what does that have to do with all this? Well, here's what it has to do with all of this. If we knew that negative 5 thirds was this suspect, it definitely was root 1. What does that mean about one of the factors? It's x minus 5 thirds. X plus 5 thirds. Our whole point of dividing, whether it's long division or synthetic division, is to find what the other factor is. Well, here's how synthetic division works. We have these things in columns. Okay? This first column was the x cubed column. When you get to the bottom, though, it's now in the x squared column. Every column gets reduced by 1 degree. All right? So this column, let me highlight them. This yellow column starts as x cubed, but finishes as 3x squared. I'll answer why in a moment. This green column began its life as the x squared column, but by the time you get done with the division process, it's the 0x column. It's now 0x. And then the blue column began as the x column, and I'm going to explain the y right now. But you divided out one of its what? One of its x's. So if it started as an x cubed, it finishes as an x squared. Since you took away one of its x's, the x squared reduces down to x to the 1. Okay? And the x column is now just the constant negative 15. The remainder column, it's gone. It's not part of the process anymore. The constant is now out of the picture. So now we factored it. Our original equation, which was y equals 3x cubed plus 5x squared minus 15x minus 25, we now know is this. Well, so what? We still haven't caught the other roots, have we? We will in a minute, because now it's easy. It's easy at this point. We have them surrounded. You have some tools right now in your toolbox where you can tell. Can I get rid of that 0x? That's annoying me, okay? You can tell that if 3x squared minus 15 is one of the factors, how can you find out when that equals 0? Solve it. Set this equal to 0. What do you do first? Thank you. Add 15. I hate that 3. Divide it out. X squared equals 5. Take the square root of both sides. Plus or minus root 5. The square root of 5 is the suspect and its evil twin, negative square root of 5. Those are the two roots. We saw them, but they weren't whole numbers because they're called sorry, my son's practicing cursive right now, so I'm going to practice also. I didn't say that. She did. Okay. So, they were irrational. And let's just prove it by going to the calculator and tracing them and see if we can catch them on tape. Who do we think they are? Who do they think they are? The square root of 5. Ah! It produces 0. And its twin, the negative square root of 5, also produces 0. Case closed. Just case closed.